Hello, welcome back to my channel, Divine Libra Wisdom. I'm back again with a pick-a-pal reading this time around. I have not done my weekly check-in readings for Libra, Taurus, and Cancer, but I will be back this week for sure. Okay, I know that I mentioned that I would be back, but again, some things happened and I was not able to do those weekly check-in readings for last week, but they will be here this week. Okay, but other than that, that's besides the point. Let's focus on what we're doing here today, which is we're going to look at or we're going to do a pick-a-pal reading. This is going to be for the new moon in Taurus, which is today as we speak. Today, but it's nighttime now where I am, but this is a time, or the only time that I had to be able to do this, but it was on my spirit to do a pick-a-pal, because I had been saying that I wanted to do one, and I felt like this was a perfect time to kind of tap in and see what the universe, spirit, whatever it is you believe in, what the cards have to say. Okay, so feels like I haven't done this in a long time. And I'm pretty sure I said that in the previous check-in videos that I was able to do. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start here. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you're returning to the channel, I thank you as well. Either way, hopefully you all will consider subscribing to the channel. That way you know when I drop new videos, and you can, stay informed. Make sure you're liking the video as you listen along. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know if, everything is resonating, how it resonates, if you feel comfortable sharing. If not, you can just leave a cute emoji down in the comment section. You can leave questions down there as well. If you have questions about, decks that I'm using, decks that you would like me to use, totally can put that down there. But if you are wanting to book a personal reading with me, then definitely use that email address that will be in the description box below. And, get with me on that. I'm very quick as far as a turnaround. But if anything were to come up, I would definitely let you know. But the only way to get in contact with me as far as booking a personal reading, you definitely have to go through my email. Okay. And I'm pretty good about answering emails like that. So if you do have questions, and you don't really necessarily want to answer or ask in my comment section, then you can definitely send an email and ask me there. But yeah, after comments, make sure you share the video out. If you know people who enjoy tarot and oracle card readings just as much as you do, then definitely send that to them, okay? And like I said, subscribe to the channel, okay? All right. The decks that I'm using, they will be in the description box below. And like I said, if you want to, mention or suggest any card or decks to use, you can definitely put that in the comments or send me an email with those suggestions. I am still working on putting my wish list together, so I can figure that out. That's going to be the task. One of my tasks for this weekend is to figure that out. Yeah. Guys, I'm still a fairly new tarot readers on here. I've been doing tarot for like years now, but I have not done it on screen for a long time, so I don't think anybody would be posing as me. But in the event that they are, definitely report it. Number one, notify me, but don't get got. Okay, the only way to book a personal reading with me is through my email. And I don't do readings for free unless you're friends or family. Okay, so, or unless you have won some kind of contest that I'm doing or something like that. Other than that, yeah, I don't do readings for free. I'm not, I'm not going to reach out to anyone or solicit you to do readings for you. So if someone is posing as me in the unlikely event that they are, that is not me. Okay. I'm not going to ever reach out to you to do that. And what comes out in these readings, just like you would hear in other, my other fellow tarot readers on here, if things don't, apply to you necessarily, just let it fly. Just take everything that resonates with you, and apply it. Like, it doesn't, these readings are meant to confirm what it is that you already know, and maybe give you more insight into maybe some issues that you're facing, or just for encouragement. Okay, these are, I do these because I enjoy doing it, but also I just, want to inspire others. I just want people to feel good, feel confident, feel like they can tackle any obstacle or problem, that comes their way. Because I will look at tarot, that speaks to me, like, looking or watching for my different placements, anything that comes across my, my feed, my timeline. If it speaks to me, if it calls out to me, then I'm going to watch it. And 9 times out of 10, most, if not all of it, will resonate. Okay? So, all that yapping to say, if it don't apply, let it fly. Okay? And just retain what does resonate with you, and just let everything else go. All right. So, as far as noise is concerned, I will try to keep it to a minimum, but my dog, or my cousin's dog, likes to hang out in my room sometimes when she's away. He likes that comfort, so you may hear him grumbling or scooting around or doing what dogs do. As far as outside noise, shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, do all the things, like, share, comment, subscribe, give feedback, do all the things. Okay. All right. So if I forgot to mention anything, then you can just apply it. And yeah, we're going to go from here. So before I get into the cards, you definitely should have, chosen from either pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. But if you feel called to all 3, or maybe 1 or 2 piles, you don't have to be set on one. Go with your gut, go with what you feel. Okay, so you can listen to all of it, you can listen to one of them, you can listen to 2 of them, however it is you want to do. It's the ball is in your court. All right. Now, so this new moon in Taurus is a supermoon. This is all about our manifestation, long-term financial goals, basically your stability. There you could be this collective in general, because I know my mind is on it as well. What heights and what things I want to do, or want to go, or want to accomplish going forward. So, this new moon is all about setting intentions for what it is that you want to bring into reality, your reality. Okay. I always say this, and it's like one of my favorite, I don't know who came up with it, but it's one of my favorite quotes, and that is, you are the author of your own story. So, nothing can, you may get obstacles that you run into, but nobody can knock you off your game. Like, nobody can rewrite your story but you. So, whenever we have these little obstacles or things, that we have, like setbacks, sometimes it can be disheartening, it can be discouraging. But at the same time, it's all about setting intentions on how you plan to overcome those things. How do you plan to sidestep or move around those obstacles, right? So that's what we're working on today. So just a friendly suggestion, something that I'm going to be doing myself, even though it's 9 o'clock, or around the time where I am, you know, I'm still going to focus on some intentions. Just have some quiet time to myself, since I do have some time to myself. And after I do this video, I'm going to set some intentions, figure out some things that I want to do, want to accomplish, want to bring into my reality. So I suggest you do the same, okay? All right, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the pick-a-pile reading. We're going to start with number 1. So, you know, you should have by now, you should be able, or should have been able to pick from either pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. Or if you feel called or drawn to more than one, totally fine. Or drawn to all 3. You know, there could be messages in each pile for all of you. You know, this collective. So, go with your gut. Okay, enough of that yapping. I know I can get to going with my mouth, so yeah. Make sure I don't get my cards wet over here. Okay. All right. And as always, if channeled messages come out, as far as like random, you know, messages that I hear in my mind that come out, I will say them. So I'll give myself a little time, and I'm gonna drink some water too. I'll just give myself a little time to see what it is I'm feeling with each pile, or each or sign that I'm reading for. Sorry, can't get my words out. But there we go. And I will just start unfolding these cards. Unfolding. What are words? No. I'll start getting these cards out and looking at them. And just see if I get anything right off the bat. Okay. Move these over. And yes, the cards will be backwards. The writing will be backwards. So, yeah. Working with limited space. So, we're just going to do what we got to do. Okay. Okay. So, pile number 1, I'm just going to see if I get any like other feelings besides what I looked at or saw from the cards. Pile number 1, I'm hearing the word freedom. So I don't know if some of you just feel like you need to get away, or you need a break from something, whether it be, you know, you just taking a break at home, you know, like say for instance, you take a few days off, just to give yourself a breather, or this literally could mean you actually planning a trip and going on a trip. And this could even be a part of what you want to manifest. Maybe there's been a trip that you've been planning for a while, and you know, you're getting ready to see that become a reality. So this could be, I'm getting like someone going to their dream place, somewhere that they've always wanted to go to visit. So that's what I'm kind of getting with pile number 1. Let's see what else. I'm laughing because one of my friends says this all the time, but I'm hearing hydrate. So some of you may need to get your water intake up, or maybe you need to go sit by water. Yeah, I'm getting like pile number 1. It feels like this pile could be kind of burnt out, and you just need some rest and relaxation. Like I just see or get a person just continuously going on and on and on and on and on, and they just need to take a break. Okay, so okay, all right. So let's actually get into the cards and see what they have to say. All right, so pile number 1, your first card out is Queen of Earth. So you are coming out in the reading, as far as like if you're Tauruses rather. So earth signs, but specifically Taurus. The new moon is in Taurus, so this could be speaking directly to a Taurus, because Taurus is sort of like Capricorns, like they're, you know, fellow earth sign. I feel like Tauruses, they like, you know, sort of like luxury, the finer things in life. They like to be comfortable. They like, you know, nice things, kind of like Libra too, since they're both Venus ruled. But Taurus is an earth sign, so they're very much kind of tethered or down to earth, connected to earth, you know. So yeah, so Tauruses literally could be heavy in this reading, as well as earth signs, period. Okay, but getting back to the card, it says thoughtful, creative, warm, sensible. It says make time for those around you, take a sensible approach, deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So that's the card we have coming out first. Okay, so with this Queen of Earth card, I feel as though you, like, there could, if this is a situation where some of you are getting ready to take a trip or want to take a trip that can sort of give you a break or ease your mind. It's also telling you to be kind of practical, but I feel like earth signs in general, they can be very practical, mindful. So with this new moon being in Taurus, you know what I'm saying, it could be like, I feel like whatever plans you do have, you will take a practical approach. You know, you'll be sensible about it. Like, you know, you take the time to plan, you take the time to really lay out your itinerary. You know, research I see people, and I don't know why I'm getting, well, Virgo is an earth sign, but I'm seeing, like, I'm hearing Virgo. So some of you could also, you know, be Virgos, obviously, since this is Queen of Earth, but I'm seeing someone who's very, like, meticulous about what they're doing, their research. You know, they leave no stone unturned. And so I'm feeling like you all, like, you're researching the safety of a place before you go. If there's any, like, civil unrest or anything of that nature, you're kind of like, okay, well, let's pivot. Let's you know what I mean? Let's go somewhere else. Just to kind of, you know, we still want to take a trip, even though things are kind of shaky right now, travel wise, with, you know, planes and things of that nature. You're still giving yourself that chance or that option. You know, you're not limiting yourself, but you're also being practical. So that's what I get from that card. So yeah, it says thoughtful up there and sensible. So yeah, you know, you just making sure that you cross all your T's and dot your I's, and, you know, make sure, like I said, you leave no stone unturned. Virgo, and that's a Virgo for you. Like, they are going to analyze everything, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of see every possible scenario, kind of like Libras too. I feel like Virgo and Libra are like right there together, sandwiched in between Scorpio. So I feel like Libra kind of takes a little bit of each sign next to it. You know, they can be kind of, you know, thinking about, like, we think before we act. As a Libra, myself, we're going to think about something before we act. We're going to be calculated about it too. So, so like a Scorpio. But other than that, if there are challenges that arise in any way, I still feel like, I don't feel like these challenges are something where they will completely, like, lead to a breakdown for you. I feel like these are more so like little annoyances that may pop up. And if they do, which I don't really get, I feel like it's just like maybe like a small number of individuals. And even for those small number of individuals, I feel like this is like little minor inconveniences. You know, there may be like a little a small amount of bill that you may, that could pop up where you need to, pay it off or something like that. And I feel like you will have the money to do it, but it's kind of like, I wish I could have kept that money. You know what I'm saying? But it's still not going to stop the show. It's just kind of like putting a little dent or a little wrench into it. But I feel like no matter what, you will find your footing. You will get back on track no matter what. But it's also kind of asking, if you're dealing with challenges, just make sure that, you're keeping a level head. Don't fly off the handle, or don't, just, take care of whatever needs to be taken care of as much as you can. And if sometimes if we do have, if it is like a big thing, you know what I mean? So sometimes we may need to reach out to others and ask for help, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I would say, if that arises, make sure you reach out to someone and ask for help if you need it. Okay, so I'm gonna move on, and we have Queen Nefertiti, alchemy. This right here. So I think this speaks very directly to what the new moon in Taurus is about right now. And with alchemy, this is all about, having the Midas touch in a way. Everything kind of like you touch turns to gold type deal. And so, again, I feel like with alchemy coming out right next to Queen of Earth, I feel like whatever it is that you set your mind to is going to happen just like that. It makes me think of the Magician card in a way, for alchemy, because it's kind of like in traditional tarot, it makes me think of the Magician. The Magician is, calculated. They analyze things, they figure out a plan, and they execute. And so this is what I'm thinking. Like, you're very much in your, what am I trying to say? And it's funny because you have whole division down there and transformation. So you're very much in tune, I feel like, with what it is that you're trying to do, what it is, like you see that target and you're just kind of like, yeah, I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. Okay. So, and I'm also noticing 38, 8, and 3. So 3s and 8s. So for 3s, this is all about, your creativity, which you have creativity up here. This is all about your, like growth, goals, joy, all those things. So like I said, again, very fitting for this pile. So this pile is very much focused on, their stability, what they're trying to do, hitting their target goals. You could literally be setting new goals that you want to accomplish this time around. And so 8, it's all about authority, power, our wealth, building that up. You know what I'm saying? So, if this is applying to you, let it apply, because definitely, I'm feeling it. So yeah, this pile, and if you notice, there's a lot of gold here too. So we have the gold pot right here with the coins in there, and then we also have with Queen Nefertiti, like the sun up here, the golden sun, the gold around. It's just, yeah. So again, it just makes me think of that Midas touch. Like, whatever you touched is gonna turn to gold. So you got it. You have it. You have the power within you to literally manifest. Again, I go back to the Magician card in the original tarot. I feel like this pal is a pal that can speak something out loud, and it actually happened. Like, it actually come true quickly. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if this is you, then definitely get focused on, what it is that you're trying to accomplish. If you need to take a trip, if you need to take a break, do that. And You know, don't be, because I do get the sense that some people in this pile, they may be kind of afraid of how accurate or how wicked fast. Not to sound like a person from Boston, but wicked fast. No, but that's what came to mind. Some of you may say that may be your slogan, or your one of your sayings. But you could be like, it's kind of like in being in awe in a way of how fast the things that you think about and say, can manifest something. So, when you are a person like that, it's a good idea to be mindful of what it is that you are trying to manifest and what it is you're saying out loud. Make sure you are always speaking of yourself, or, about yourself to others in a positive light. You know what I'm saying? When you speak into existence, or, sometimes some people can hear thoughts in their mind. So, because I know some people say they don't hear anything, like they don't have their own inner monologue. They don't hear anything, which is odd to me, but yeah, whatever. That's a whole nother deal. But when you're speaking, whether it's out loud, inside your mind, however you do it, make sure you're saying things in an affirming light, in a positive light. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be focused on negative things, but you want positive things, but you're solely focused on the negative. You know what I'm saying? Focus on the positive instead. And watch how that alchemy of how it comes to fruition. So for good, for better or for worse, but we want for better, right? Okay, and moving right along. You have number 3, feeding crows. And this is transformation. So I feel like with this card here, I feel like some of you in this pile could be really going through like a literal transition, or transformation. I'm sorry. You could be, feeling, because I get the feeling of stagnant energy too, for some of you. So you could be kind of coming out of a funk where you're like, okay, I'm choosing. And I feel like I saw a quote today that said, shout out to the women who were saying, what did it say? Shout out to the women who decided that they didn't want to live the same life, or something to that effect. And it really resonated with me. Because yeah, like at one point I was at a point where I was just like, yeah, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. This is not going to work for me in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to make a change. I'm going to have to do something different. And so I feel like with this pile and with this transformation card, there could be a lot of you who are feeling that way. So if that is the case, like I said, this is a good time with this being the new moon in Taurus. This is a good time to focus on your intention, what it is that you're trying to bring into your reality. It's very important that you figure that out today or tonight, whatever, even tomorrow, because I feel like, the new moon energy still kind of carries over, in my opinion, the very next day. So, excuse me, I have to yawn. So you don't necessarily have to, get it done that day, the day of the new moon, but, and you can focus, like, it's not like, to me, I feel like there are good days, like the day of a new moon, the day, the day after, even sometimes the day before, excuse me, it's a good time, or a good day. It's a good thing to, focus on intentions whenever, you know what I'm saying? But it's especially, I feel like the energy is heightened on the day of, or the day before, day of, day after. Okay, so whenever you do, decide to, doesn't have to be, a stickler for it, just go with what your gut tells you. But I would, especially with the card transformation being out with the other cards, I would definitely spend some time focusing on what it is I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? If you know that you're one of the ones who didn't necessarily have a plan, or maybe you weren't really into setting goals for the new year, totally fine, because March March is the the real new year. You know what I'm saying? So spring, like the start of spring, is a real new year. So if you wanted to wait, you know what I'm saying, and focus on the things that you're trying to do, good idea to do it. Okay, so moving on, we have hold your vision, and this is a fixed moon. All right, so with hold your vision, I think it ties completely into transformation as well as alchemy. You have to have a vision in your mind of what it is that you're trying to do. In order to see a target, you have to first figure out what that target is, what it is that you're wanting, right? So it's a good idea to, like I said, hold that vision, hold it in your mind, really see it, you know what I'm saying? Before you start trying to execute or go for something, make sure you know exactly what it is that you want. And sometimes, you may change your mind, and, things can change over time too. Like what worked for you before may not work for you later in life. You know what I mean? What it is just about constantly just holding that vision in your mind and making sure, checking in with yourself sometimes it's a good idea to, see where you're at, if you're satisfied, which I feel like this new moon in Taurus, that's what it's asking you, like, are you satisfied, right? Are you satisfied with how your life is, with what you're doing, the job that you have, the relationship that you're in, you know what I'm saying, the friendships you have, so on and so forth. Are you excited to do the things that you're doing, to be around the people that you're around most of the time or you talk to? Okay. All right, last card, and then we have our affirmation, or my little affirmation cards that I made up. We have destiny. This is number 8, and like I said, 3s and 8s could be very significant for you. Earth signs could be very significant for you as well. You all watching this one, pile number 1s, you could be earth signs, or you have earth sign placements. Okay. So your last card is destiny, like I said, and this is all that I shall need to know as I walk shall now be shown. It's backwards, but that's how the card looks. And I'll read it again. All that I shall need to know as I walk shall now be shown. It's a tongue twister. A tongue twister, but what this tells me is that your destiny, what did I say? You're the author of your own story, right? So, you're the author of your own story. So your destiny is within your hands. So if you want to change something about your story, then get out pen and pad and start writing. Start holding your vision. Start developing your vision, and then, you know what I'm saying, figure it out from there. Okay? So let's I'm gonna read your affirmation, and then we're gonna wrap up pile number 1, and then we're gonna go to pile number 2. Okay, it says, I take care of my mind, body, and soul. I take care of my mind, body, and soul. And one of the ways, like I said, you want to make sure you hydrate, like I mentioned before at the start of this reading. And then also, you want to make sure that, if you're not satisfied with how your life is going, if you're not satisfied with the things, that you're doing day to day, then this is a good time to make changes. So if you find that there are changes that you need to make, or things that you are trying to do, then this is a good time to plan the vision, hold the vision, see it through, and actually wait for it to come to fruition. Okay? So pile number 1, that was your reading. I hope that it resonated. If it did, give me a like, share a comment down in the comment section. Let me know how it resonated. Subscribe to the channel, share, do all the things, okay? And we're gonna go right on to pile number 1, or pile number 2, I'm sorry. Okay. And I would drop that. Ready to go. Okay. All right. And we have pile number 2. All right, pile number 2. All right. And if I get any pile or channel messages that come out, I will say them, of course. And I'm gonna see what I feel as far as anything coming out. All right, so number 2, pile number 2, my collective and pile number 2. I feel like you all are the go-getters. You all are the hard workers, the type A type people. Or you may have, that could be just part of your personality too. It doesn't have to be your overall, overall, what am I trying to say? Entire personality. It just could be something that you all are, known for, or, it's just a part of you, like I said. Slippery slope. I don't know why I'm hearing that. But some of you could, be so ambitious to the point that you take risk recklessly. And, there could be I can't even talk. There could be a need to kind of have some discipline in a way. So, yeah, slippery slope. Yeah, don't go so far to the point to where you are not paying attention. Because when you're not paying attention to something and you're doing something recklessly, you can have accidents. Okay? So just, yeah, be careful. Be mindful of what you're doing. Yeah, because I just heard pump the brakes. So yeah. Slow down, grasshopper. Okay, and I'm just trying to see if I get anything else. Also hearing the word growth. So some of you could be going through like a major growth spurt, or growth spurt in the sense of maturity. You know what I'm saying? There could be some things that you would have done in the past that you won't do now. So you could have been the type of person who might, fly off the handle, especially with the Emperor being out here right now. So that's very much Aries energy. So you could have been a person who would, pop off without a second thought about anything. You just know that you've been slighted, and you want revenge or you want payback. So yeah, some of you may be Aries, or you may have that in your chart. Or you could just have that fire energy, fire sign energy. But yeah, I think that's all the channel messages that I'm getting. So let's go ahead and get into the cards. And like I said, of course, if anything else comes out, ooh, my nails match these cards. Anyway, so yeah. So the first card that comes out is the Emperor. This is Archangel Michael. This is about organization and logic, structure, and discipline. I mentioned the word discipline, leadership. So yeah, and this card always makes me laugh because look at how his demeanor on this card. Like, he has his arms crossed. So I feel like this is very like stubborn energy, and stubborn. When I think about stubborn energy, it makes me think of Taurus, and a new moon is in Taurus actually. So, yeah. You could be, some of you could be a little arrogant and a little stubborn too, bullheaded. So some of you could be Tauruses as well in this pile as well. That it really came out in pile number 1. So if you're used to that, if you're attracted to that pile, but you chose this one instead, maybe go check pile number 1 out, because there could be some messages in there for you. But anyway, this new moon is all about like our stability, our structure, discipline, you know what I'm saying, bringing things into reality, making plans and the things of that nature. So that could be something that's very much your focus, as opposed to like number 1, where they were kind of like being told to hold the vision, see the vision. You all are being I feel like you all already have the foundation, you already have the structure. It's just, you may need some discipline around it, or there may need to be some kinks worked out, where, you may need to go back and assess some things that you were trying to do, or that you did do, but there may be some cracks in the foundation that need tending to, okay? Some of you with the Emperor, this is all about leadership, being a leader, things of that nature too. So, there could be a situation where you may have to take the lead on certain things if you don't want to, but you may be called to do that. So, it's like, yeah, you may have to, put on your big britches and go for it. You know what I'm saying? Trust, believe in yourself. Believe that you can take the lead, and, you be a great leader. You know what I'm saying? A great leader is someone who, takes the time to consider other people, who thinks before they act, right? Considers everyone's input, and they delegate, and then they execute whatever it is that they're trying to do. So this could be what it is that you're doing. Okay, so as far as numbers, let me pause there for a minute and get some numbers for you. So we have 4, we have 14, so 1 and 4, new beginnings, opportunity, power, action. So yeah, there may be an opportunity for you to take the lead. You may be called to do that, and so this may be a time where, not only are you being asked to prove something to yourself, but you could be proving yourself to others. Maybe a boss, maybe other coworkers, what have you. But anyway, so numbers, like I said, 4 and 14. 4 is about our stability, order, manifestation. So, 4 is a very significant for this new moon in Taurus, because it's all about our stability. So yeah, this pile number 2, like I said, I feel like you all have the foundation. You just need, like I said, there's still some cracks or some things that need to be looked at. You know what I'm saying? So definitely be mindful of that. And the other number that you had was 21, and you have 5. So 5 is all about changes, and fast change too. So, you know, there. And sometimes these changes or things that pop up, they can kind of come out of left field, kind of just and be kind of wild in a way. Kind of reminds me like the tower card. Not to say you're about to have a tower moment, but sometimes with fives, I find that when they come out, it usually means it's going to be something that really takes you for a loop. It may kind of stun you a little bit, but you get back on track though. You see what I'm saying? So this could be one of those times where you need to really maybe keep your head on a swivel, you know, not be reckless, like I said, quick to react to a certain situation. Make sure you're going at it with a level head, you know, and making sure that you know, okay. Some things it may not be how it appears, right? So it may look like something is dreadful, like it's could come at a worse time. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, this is happening for a reason, so let me take care of it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, don't be discouraged. Just go for it, okay? All right, so now we have, and a 21. I'm sorry, 21. So that would be 2 and 1. So let's start with 1, even though it's 21. Well, no, let's do this. So 2 is all about balance, partnership, and duality. Number 1 is all about new beginnings, opportunity, you know, our power and action. So very fitting for this reading. Okay, so the next card that we have that came out though is Mboya. I believe that's how you say it. Mboya. Nihande. Nihanda. If I'm butchering that, I do apologize. But this card is Radical Rebirth. That's how it looks. Very cool card. Card matches. I mean, my nails matches this card as well up here. Anyway, so we are going through a big transformation. So again, I feel like pile number 2, some of you could have been called to go look at pile number 1 because it literally had a transformation card in there. So you may be drawn to that. But either way, Radical Rebirth, you all are also going through a major transformation too. You know, you could be this pile number 2. I feel like even though you may have like the structure, the foundation, you all may be like starting over. You know, you could be starting a new job, some of you. Because yeah, when I think of Radical Rebirth, I think this is like, it's like a rapid change, and it definitely goes with 5, the number 5, with the changes and everything. But even with change, you know, this is all about like our knowledge, joy. I'm sorry, this is all about our like changes, like I said. But this is all about like inner child, having fun, you know, being free. You know, so I'm sorry, hold on one second. Hopefully that went to the right thing. No, I don't want to do that. There we go. Yep. I like for movies to play in the background while I'm doing this, especially if it's a movie that I've watched 11 times. But anyway, your Radical Rebirth is like your rebrand. You're stepping back out, maybe taking a leap of faith of some sort. But like I said, I still feel strongly for that our pile number 2s, you all already have the foundation, you already have the structure. It's just, you know, there could be some reordering, there could be some redoing. A lot of the RE words like releasing, renewing, redoing, you know what I'm saying, revising, you know what I'm saying, very Mercury retrograde type energy. But yeah, so if that is your energy, or if that's, you know, what it is that you're going through, then this is, like I said, perfect time for new moon in Taurus to fix any imperfections, any, you know, cogs or things in the system that need to come out, be, you know, rebranded, redone, and then get back up in there. Okay. So let's keep moving right along. So we have High Priestess, and this is leadership. So with the High Priestess, I feel like this is someone who's very much into knowing what it is that they want, seeing the problem, and being able to fix whatever the issue is. So this could be very much you, especially with it being leadership, you taking the lead. This kind of almost makes me think of like with the hand up, like raising your hand, like volunteering, like, yeah, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm gonna, do what I need to do. So yeah, I volunteer as tribute now. That's so funny. And it's so funny on this movie, the address to this place where this person is running is 535. So that could be significant. I know sometimes I don't even hardly pay attention to the movie that's on when I'm doing these readings, but yeah, 535, that may be significant for somebody. But nonetheless, with High Priestess, this is someone who is very attuned, very studious. I feel very business savvy, someone who, a leader person, a leader, a boss woman, a boss bee, you know what I mean? So if that applies to you, then hey, I definitely get into that mode. If you have to get into beast mode in that way, then I definitely go for that. Okay, I'm for that. But yeah, and this is also with the High Priestess, this is also about remembering your power too. You know what I'm saying? Remembering that you have what it takes to be a leader. So if there is any type of doubt, or feeling as though you can't do something just because you don't have experience, just because you don't you haven't been in something too long, or things may feel, because I also get the sense feeling as though things could be too good. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it's just kind of no, you're fine. This pile number two, pile number two, you're fine, you're good. Okay, so next card we have coming is Meditate and Contemplate. This is new moon in Pisces, so some of you may be Pisces as well as Aries in this pile, or you may have those placements. But with Meditate and Contemplate, I feel like this is a time where you have, like I said, I keep reiterating it, you have the foundation, you have what you have what you need. This is just a time where you may need to really take a step back, really analyze, kind of look over everything, and just make sure, like I said, things are still working for you, things are going according to plan, and if there, like I said, if there are any cracks in the foundation, definitely get it look at that. Okay, and then the last card you have here is Sensuality. Pretty little pink card, and it says, your freedom flowing from far away. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. And I think I did hear the word freedom. If not in pile number one, definitely pile number two. But freedom is a big thing with this pile number two. So you could want to express yourself in that way more freely, and it could be very beneficial to your growth and your leadership. Maybe you are being called to take the lead, or kind of put yourself out there in a way, just kind of not be afraid to kind of pop your ish, you know what I mean? Not being afraid to be loud about getting your pleasure out of things, kind of having a romance, or romanticizing your life a bit more. Those things are very heavy energy that I'm getting for pile number two. Okay, so Pile number 2, here is your affirmation. It says, forgive, but don't forget. Learn the lesson and move accordingly. Again, that was forgive, but don't forget. Learn the lesson and move forward accordingly. So with this affirmation, it literally makes me think of what I mentioned before, is that I feel like pile number 2, you could have been, like I said, you all are very ambitious, but you're very high-headed too. Some of you have tempers, but I feel like this kind of speaks to how you used to be. So like you could have been a person who would fly off the handle, would, pop off the mouth, pop off at the mouth, not having a care or thought in the world. Like, it's kind of like, I don't care about this job. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to treat me any kind of way. And I know somebody like that. So, so yeah, but I feel like they're a little bit chiller now, because it's kind of like when you have a lot to lose, you're not, yeah, you're not going to just accept any type of treatment, right? But, sometimes you have to kind of play the game in order to get to where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's something that's like, you're being inauthentic, but it's just kind of like, okay, I'm not feeling this situation, but I need to, again, fix some cracks in the system or cracks in the foundation. I need to get my ducks in a row before I make a big leap, you know what I'm saying, without having thought things through first, haven't secured anything else, you know what I'm saying. I need to make sure that I'm safe and I'm protected before I do this leap, before I make this move. Okay? All right, so I don't want to keep continuously yapping, so but that was your reading, pile number 2. I hope that you liked it. I hope that it resonated. If it did, go ahead and give me a like, give me a comment if you feel comfortable sharing, if how it resonated. If you don't want to go all into detail, totally understand. You can leave a emoji down there, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Okay? All right. Last but certainly not least, we're going to pile number 3. Okay. Let's get that. There we go. I'm going to get me some water here. Whew. Boy, I swear water be so good when you talking and stuff. Whew, Lordy. Okay. All right. Pile number 3. We get this. I'm gonna turn these cards over. But I am gonna get some channeled messages for you. Okay. Okay, pile number 3s. I see the like right here it says study, but I also see in my mind someone like in a library, but I also hear the word brainiac. So you all, I feel like this is my intellectual pile. These are the people who are very much into their me time, studying, reading, being to themselves, enjoying their own company. So you all may, you may like to have a good book, be cozy, get up under your covers, or sit in your favorite chair, covered up, get you a nice, hot beverage and you read your book, which is definitely my kind of vibes, okay? Definitely my vibe. But yeah, you could need some time for that. Maybe you've been kind of going and going and going, and you know, you may need to do that, especially for the new moon in Taurus. You know, this is a good time to, you know, take a load off, take a chill pill, but also, you know, focus on, you know, your goals and things you want to accomplish too. Okay. Let's see. I'm saying plane, so, you know, travel could definitely be in your near future. And I think you have a travel, yeah, 4 of air says take a vacation. Yeah. So that could be coming up very soon, kind of similar to pile number 1. But I feel like you all have these, you've already set plans in motion to travel, whereas pile number 1, they need to like take the time or make a plan for travel. But you're already there. You skipped that step. Or you're past that step, not skipped it, but you're past that step. And I'm seeing in my mind like rock formation, so mountains. So I don't know, maybe some of you may want to go hang out in the mountains. Maybe you want to get a cabin or something. Yeah, some of you may want to do like off-grid living. Yeah, you may literally want to go camping, instead of like necessarily getting a cabin, but you may want to actually be out there camping. Yeah, because I'm also seeing like fishing and some things like that. Okay. I don't know why I just heard scorched earth. I don't know. Some of you mad about something? I don't know. Something making you nervous or annoyed? I feel like whatever it is, you may be like heated, like real, like hot as hell, mad as hell, when you first hear about something that maybe upsets you, but you quickly get over it. But you have an air sign or air 4 of air out here, so you know I'm definitely dealing with air signs or people who have air sign placements in their major lineup. So, you know, you could be the type of person who feels very deeply something when you're slighted, or when, you know, something bad happens, or you even like something that's not necessarily happening directly to you. You know, you could be like, say for instance, one of your friends, you know, they tell you about a certain situation and that you be fired up for them. You know what I'm saying? Like you will be more mad than they are or appear to be. But just as easily as you can be very, you know, responsive and, you know, very sensitive to things that happen not only to you, of course, but to your family, to your friends. You know, it can really get to you, and you may see even more red for the people that you love, more so than yourself. I can definitely relate because I am a Cancer moon, so I feel things very deeply. But being a air sign, Libra, as my sun sign, I can very quickly detach. Yeah, I really can. You know, it's like, once I care, you better catch me when I care, because otherwise, when I don't care, I really don't care. Okay, and that could be kind of what this pile is kind of going through in a way. But let's go ahead and get into the cards, right? Okay. So the first card that you have out is 4 of air. This is oh goodness, time to take. I can't even talk today. Okay, time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. That's your card there. So yeah, you know, this pal, you all could be very like, and if you were drawn to pile number, really any of the piles, either pile number 1 or pile number 2, whatever whatever you're drawn to, make sure you go check that portion of the reading out, because you could have messages in there for you. But getting back to what I was saying, you all may I feel like air signs, we as air signs, like we spend a lot of time in our mind. We're very cerebral. We're very like, you know, want to know things, want to research things, want to find things out. So, you know, you could be someone who's been very, because I'm seeing a person, like this person on this card is, you know, studying, right? I see someone in the library, you know, so you all, some of this group could be, you know, college students, or you could be students newly graduating, because this is the time, it's May. So you know, you all may be gearing up for graduation. You may have worked super hard in high school, if I'm speaking to teenagers, if any teenagers are watching this, and you're newly graduating, congratulations, by the way. But you may have really put your foot down, put your head down, got in your books, and now is, you know, you're kind of like, okay, I need a trip, I need to get away, you know. So a lot of you, you know, maybe, you know, you're becoming an adult, so you turning 18, 19, whatever, and now's the time, you know, you probably are about to start getting your first sort of taste of freedom, right? So and you're ready for it, like you're ready to take a trip, you're ready for the summertime. You know, you're ready to kind of wild out for the summertime before, you know, you know, pick up and go back to school. Because I know a lot of, I did that, you know, I didn't really, you know, wait a year or anything like that. I went straight, I started school right after high school. So a lot of you could be gearing up for that. Okay. Now, if this is someone who is more so like on a job, you know, they're really deep into their careers, you could be burnt out too. You could be burnt out, and you all need a vacation, a major vacation. It's calling some of y'all's name. And so, you know, this is a good time to take a step back, chill out. Even if you can't, you know, what am I trying to say? Travel right now, do a staycation. Just anything to get away from the everyday hustle and bustle that you go through at your jobs. You know, this is asking you to kind of take a break. So, you know, maybe that's exactly what you did over this weekend. Is, you know, maybe you was like, hey, I'm gonna take me a little day trip, or I'm gonna take me a little weekend trip and just go somewhere and just enjoy my 2 days and come on back home. Or, you know, you could be planning you could be planning on a trip, kind of like on a whim in a way. You know, it's just kind of like, you know what, I'm sick of it, I'm just gonna go. So yeah, it could be very much a situation like that, because as opposed to honestly, because I feel like this came out in pile 1 and pile 2, so you could have been drawn pile number 3, you all could have been drawn to each pile. So, you know, and I can't remember exactly which pile it was, pile number 1 or pile number 2, either way. But this could be a thing where you all are not even like, yeah, I'm not doing a whole bunch of planning. I know exactly where I want to go. I know exactly what I want to do. I just want to take a load off. I'm going. So, you know, it's like you know, you kind of like, I feel like this is more so the group where not necessarily you're flying by the seat of your pants, but it's more so like you've likely, yeah, kind of jump into study. You've likely already did your planning, so you already know what you want to do. And I feel like with air signs, we're going to go over a plan multiple times before we actually execute. So like especially a Libra, like we have to go through, look for errors, look for different scenarios, try to figure out things. And so so yeah. It's one of those things. But yeah, you know, if you do what you have to do, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like you just want to get up one day, you have the means to do so. You know, you leave off, call off work, and you just kind of like, yeah, I'm going. I'm going to go take me a little staycation. I'm going to go do this, that, and the third. Right? Okay. So, do what you got to do. Okay, moving forward. Oh, before I move forward, let's get the numbers. So, you have 4, you have 39, we have 15, we have 36. And so, 4s, again, this is about stability, order, manifestation, goes directly with the new moon in Taurus, because this is all about our manifestation. So, you know, it's kind of like, I know what I want. I've spoken my manifestation, or what it is I'm trying to get. So now I'm going to actually execute. I'm actually going to do what I said I was going to do. Okay. 3s, this is all about your creativity, growth, your goals, joy, you know, yeah. 15, 1 is about new beginnings, opportunities, your power, starting, you know, that goes with new beginnings, actions. So yeah. And 5, this is all about change, growth, joy as well. Your inner child, like allowing yourself to have fun, you know what I'm saying? To have that childlike wonder, you know, and go off somewhere and experience new things. So very much an opportunity type deal. Okay. So you have Queen Ya Asewante, Asante Wa. Ooh, sometimes it's kind of hard to. Okay, and this is level up. So yeah, whatever it is that you're doing, this is a level up. This is a time where you're like, yeah, I've worked hard. I've done what I needed to do. I have the means to go do what I want to do. So I'm going to take that dream vacation that I've been wanting to take. I'm going to go take that dream staycation I said I was going to take. I'm going to go stay here. I never really stayed here. I never stayed at this place before. So let me go check this out, you know. Almost kind of like doing that thing where you're like a tourist in your own city. You know, you try that new restaurant you've been wanting to try. You stay at that new hotel that you were wanting to, you know, stay at. Even if it is in your city, but you're taking a tour, like you're doing the things that you want to do. And excuse me, sorry for yawning, but that actually might be what I do, because I want to. I've been gone from Little Rock, and I just put myself out there. But where I live, I put myself, I've been gone from here for a while. And so, you know, I want to be a tourist in my own little city. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a little tourist and, you know, just remember what it was like, you know, to be a tourist in my own city. You know what I'm saying? Experience things again, because I've been gone for a long time. So, you know, I just got back not too long ago. So yeah, time to explore. Anyway, but this is a level up, you know what I'm saying? However that is, or however that looks for you, it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's time to experience life. Romanticize your life. I think I mentioned that in pile number 2. That I do remember. But yeah, you know, this is a time for you to have fun. And that's what 15s are about. So, and then we go back to 36. So 3s, again, this is all about your creativity, your growth, your goals, joy, your abundance. And we have 6. 6 is about having support, cooperation, harmony, you know, also kind of like balance in a way, because when you think of 3 and 3, you know, you get 6. So that is an even number. 7, I think, is like an odd number, I think. Wait a minute. Am I getting my numbers wrong? Oh, wait. 6 may be... I can't remember, but either way, to me, it balances because it's 3 and 3 together. So, but you know, maybe not even and odd. I don't have to put that into the equation. But it's just balance to me. You know, you got a 3 and a 3, you make a 6. So, you know, with 7, it's not balanced necessarily. So, yeah. Y'all get my drift. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. Y'all do. But either way, you know, you're being called to, if you haven't already, you're being called to level up your game. Like, you know, get on the good foot and figure out a plan to get to that level up status that you want. Or you're already there, which I feel like this pile is kind of like they are there where they want to be in a way. They just need to take a break. They just need to enjoy the fruits of their labor, how they leveled up, you know what I'm saying, coming out of a certain situation previously, to make this anecdotal for a second. But yeah, coming from a certain situation to now, is, you know, my life has completely, I don't even hardly recognize my life, as opposed to 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago to now. You know, it was completely and totally different. But nonetheless, sometimes, you know, you may need to go, you know, return back home or, you know, get a change of scenery, and whatever the case, whatever speaks to you for you to do, whether it be taking a vacation, taking a rest, doing something for yourself, whatever, do it. Okay, so then we have number 15, the sacred vows, commitment. Like literally level up. And what I was just talking about, like you could have been, this pile could have made a promise to themselves. Like, yeah, I'm going to take time to rest. I'm going to take time to take vacations. I'm going to take time to, you know, care for myself and consider myself, consider others. You know what I'm saying? But I really feel like this is more so self-focused. So, you know, whatever sacred vows, whatever promises that you made to yourself, make sure you're keeping them. Making sure, you know, you're checking in with yourself, because this is a good time to do that. Like, you know, if you've been kind of, you know, neglecting yourself, if you've been kind of, you know, slacking on certain things, then maybe it's a good time to revisit the things that you promised yourself, your goals. And, you know, if things need to change with your goals, if things have shifted and you're no longer interested in a specific goal or pursuing that, then this is a good time to, you know, revise it, add in, replace whatever it is you need to do or want to do with what you want to do, and go from there. All right, so now we have work through your fears. This is new moon in Scorpio. Okay, so, you know, there could be some fears surrounding like making changes, because with 15, you know, there's a 5 in there. So, you know, this is all about changes, as well as, you know, things around our stability for this new moon in Taurus. So there could be fears around that, fears around you know, if I leap too far, what's too far? You know what I'm saying? Will I leap too far and fall off a cliff? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's kind of like the thing of being, you know, too ambitious, and, you know, like, was I supposed to do that? Did I need to do that? These are all like little fears and things that sometimes we may go through in our minds. But the good thing about it is, when you take the time to rest, sometimes, you know, that vacation, that staycation, whatever, even if it's just taking days off, you know, from work or whatever, and just sitting in your room doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that is the best time to really kind of cipher through your thoughts, and get a clear vision or a clear handle on what it is that you're trying to do, or whatever it is you're trying to make sense of. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're someone who has, you know, thoughts a mile a minute. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, and you can just like, okay, I need some time, some quiet time to really figure out what's going on in my mind. And write that stuff down and process it and get it all out. So work through your fears, and you'll be good. Okay. And so last but not least, our last card here is study. It says, let my mind be clear. What did I just talk about? You know, a mile a minute type mind, and especially with 4 of air being out here, air signs, we are always in our heads. And that's where you get that. I feel like that's where we get the saying, head up in the clouds. Because we be there. You know what I'm saying? We really think a lot, air signs. And so, you know, there could be some things where you need to take some time to really study, you know, and really be clear on certain things. You know, clarity, that's what it is. You may need some clarity on things. And so maybe looking up stuff, studying could help you process and make sense of certain things. So now we have, yeah, so your spell card for study is let my mind be clear and strong. Let me bless me. Let me study well and long. Again, let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. So yeah. All right. And your affirmation card is I am safe. And I know it's backwards, but I am safe. Okay. And it goes perfectly with work through your fears. So, you know, again, if you feel like you're too, you know, you're kind of exposed in a way, like, you know, you're put out there and you have fears of making a leap, of I'm sorry, y'all. If you're doing too much, that could be a very valid and real fear that, you know, damn, you know, am I doing too much? Am I too ambitious? Am I too ambitious with my goals that I'm setting? You know, do I need to kind of reassess and look at things a bit more? You know, it's one of those things. Okay. All right. So pile number 3. I know I yapped a lot. That was your reading, though. I hope that hope that it resonated, and if it did, go ahead and give me a like. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know how it resonated, if you feel comfortable sharing your story. If not, you don't have to. You can just leave a cute emoji down there. Yeah, share the video if you think anyone would like this pick a pile. Subscribe to the channel so that way you know when I drop new videos. And yes, tomorrow I will have the weekly check-in readings for Taurus, Cancer, and Libra. Okay. And I may do a pick a pile reading again. We're gonna look at something else that I've been thinking about doing. I really want to tap into that energy and see what's going on, but I really have to do this for the new moon in Taurus, and this will be uploaded right really soon. Really soon, in just a little while. And what else? Yeah, I can't think of anything else. So all in all, that was all of y'all's readings, pile number 1 through 3. Yes, I really hope that you all enjoyed the reading. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.